Hello aspirants, this is me Yasmin Gill, and in today's video we'll be covering the PIB highlights of 30th of March. So month coming to an end, any sort of feedback do mention in the comment section so that the coming course for the month of April could be improved even more. Also do follow all these videos on this particular link and you can rate and review the March course as well. So let's begin. There are quite many pre-related points today. So firstly we have under culture Namami Brahmaputra festival. So it is celebrated by Assam government in order to promote community bondage. Then we have Pushtani. Pushtani is a skill development program by Ministry of Textiles and it is mainly to provide skills for traditional weavers. Then we have under society related issues a shaky Aadhaar. So this is related to the debate of privacy versus service delivery, efficient service delivery. So this was from Indian Express. So let's go through the article. See, otherwise we had done on PIB as well various articles initially or earlier also on Aadhaar base. This is additional to it, and the important point from this article is that there are various issues touched under this article. So firstly, something which began to provide efficient service delivery for PDS and LPG related schemes. Further, it went on to spread like a contagion to various other schemes as well. So if you look at past many days, Government of India has come up with quite many notifications whereby UID has been made compulsory in a range of databases. But what are the issues which this compulsion brings forward? So let's understand, UID is not something which is used for a restricted number of schemes. It will be used for quite a many number of schemes. And how will it impact people? That can be checked from these points. For example, children might not get in coming times midday meals without UID. Simultaneously, manual scavengers, their rehabilitation won't be possible until and unless they give their UID numbers. But the problem with this is, as per manual scavengers, they wanted their identity to remain secret. But now when they come up with their Aadhaar cards and give their numbers, they will be permanently tagged with this identity in perpetuity. Similarly, victims of Bhopal tragedy, if they do not submit their identification, so they might be taken off compensation list. Disabled people particularly, they won't get skill training at times. The the fingerprint issue might be there with them and so on. So this is about disabled people. Simultaneously, women rescued from prostitution, it will be difficult to rehabilitate them because they won't be willing to give their identity, right? Similarly, for HIV positive people, antiretroviral therapy might be a big issue because again they will have to give their identity. Finally, government is trying to make mandatory UID for filling the income tax returns as well. So people at times, they are fearful of the fact that their PAN cards might be cancelled if unique identification number is not given. So the crux of the matter is, anonymity was a benefit to some of these people or some of these groups rather. So that anonymity will be taken away once UID is brought forward or it is made compulsory rather. So just quickly pinpointing the issues. One is anonymity has become a casualty. There is state surveillance. Also the very mandatory provision, it is in violation of Supreme Court orders. The very way by which Aadhaar Act was passed, it was passed as money bill, so it subdued the parliamentary discussion as well. If you look at the database management, private companies are allowed free hand in database management, which will actually lead to profiling of people. Similarly, foreign companies who we are having not much idea of, so their dubious role is thought of that it might not be so good for our security interests because some of these foreign companies, they might be having close relationships with intelligence and defense establishments of their own countries. Then we have the problem with untested technologies such as biometrics. About this particular thing, that is problem with biometrics, we had studied once in PIB as well. Then we have some people might be genuine but they might be excluded from the service delivery mechanism. Overall, some people, they have pointed at the benefit of bringing forward Aadhaar is this will lead to a lot of saving in the government schemes. But if you look at the LPG related savings, CAG had said that these savings were exaggerated. So this is all the issues related to Aadhaar and therefore the article a shaky Aadhaar. Finally, the current issue which is going on, Chief Justice of India bench on hearing of this Aadhaar play, it said that mandatory use for welfare is not permitted, but it can be there for certain issues, for example, say filing of ITRs, etc. So as per the author, this shows the unfamiliarity of judges with the issue of public significance. For example, when the Attorney General, he brought forward the issue that Government of India is trying to verify all mobile phones against Aadhaar numbers. So the Chief Justice of India's court, it unquestionably accepted the AG's viewpoint. So that is a certain issue how the government is right now dealing with, or how the judiciary is right now dealing with Aadhaar. So all such matters, they must be urgently heard and privacy should be aptly protected. Now just form an opinion on the same. One is, on the one hand you have privacy, on the other hand you have service delivery. And do think about this groups as well, which we had mentioned in earlier slide. Then we have Cub Scouts. So Ministry of Communication, it has come up with a postal stamp on Cub Scouts, because Cub Scouts are celebrating a centenary year. So what is Cub Scouting? See, you must have heard about Scouting movement, right? So Cub Scouting is basically for children between the age group of 8 to 11, while Scouting is for 11 to 17. Then we have an animated short film getting very popular. It is known as Komal, and it is based on the topic of child sexual abuse. Then we have a program known as Ma, that is Mother's Absolute Affection Program. This is to promote breastfeeding, and it is done by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Then we have National Service Scheme. Government is trying to restructure the scheme. So National Service Scheme, it was introduced in 1969, primarily to develop the personality of youth. How can they develop so? Through the voluntary community service. So certain small snippets today. Then we have under economy, we have India's longest road tunnel, about which we studied in PIB MCQs. So it's a 9-kilometer long Chinani Nashri tunnel in Jammu and Kashmir. It is a part of the NH44 project. Also, it will connect Jammu with Srinagar. It's a single tube bidirectional tunnel, but it will be having certain cross passages. Also, a very smart tunnel with smart features such as integrated traffic control system. Then we have, see, New Development Bank. Firstly, do mention in the comment section where are the headquarters of New Development Bank located. So India has signed its first ever loan agreement with New Development Bank. What is this loan agreement for? It is for the upgradation of district roads in Madhya Pradesh. Then we have employee enrollment camping. Firstly, what is this camping for? It is to enroll the left out employees and provide incentives to the employers who will actually enroll them. So this is by Ministry of Labour and Employment, and government has decided to extend the deadline for this program. Therefore, it is in news. Then we have a book titled Indian Railway, The Weaving of a National Tapestry. So this is about the history of Indian Railways. The book is jointly authored by very popular Shri Bibek Debroy along with Shri Sanjay Chadda and Mrs. Vidya Krishnamurthy. So maybe this question is not asked in UPSC, but you could encounter such book related questions in state civils. Also, National Rail Museum, where is it located? New Delhi. Then we have, in order to provide Wi-Fi facility in the railways, we have RailTel Corporation. It's a mini Ratan PSU which comes under Ministry of Railways. Then we have electronic cargo tracking system. This is to come up between India and Nepal, and who will be developing it? It will be supported by Asian Development Bank. Then we have National Civil Aircraft Development Program. What is this program about? It is to develop a 90-seater aircraft. So it will be having two phases. One is related to design, the other about the actual manufacturing. Private sector would be involved in both the phases, and who will be collaborating this phase? CSIR's National Airspace Laboratory. So this is about development of a new aircraft, civil aircraft. Then very important topic here, International Energy Agency. So India has got the association status of International Energy Agency. Earlier it was partnership status, now it has been elevated to association status. What is International Energy Agency? It's a Paris-based organization which provides reliable energy to its member countries. Almost 70% of world's energy consumption, it comes under the umbrella of IEA. Also, it brings forward a very important publication, that is Energy Outlook. Then we have under environment, we have online filling of assess and benefit sharing. Important point is who checks or who monitors assess and benefit sharing of biological resources. It is managed by National Biological Authority. and National Biological Authority, yes, and state biodiversity boards. So we need to take a prior approval if we want to use the knowledge of certain biological resources. So as far as the National Biodiversity Authority is concerned, so it's a statutory body which has been established under Biological Diversity Act. Then we have second meeting taking place of National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction. Theme is given here, venue is given here. Let's understand about this particular body. National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction. It was formed in 2013, chaired by Union Home Minister. Vice chairperson is also given and certain other members are given. Quite lot many. Main focus should be only on the chairperson, that is Union Home Minister. Functions are given. It basically reviews the National Disaster Management Policy. It also acts as an advisory body towards central and state governments. Then we have certain small snippets here. Coal burning, it leads to emission of nitrogen oxides as well as sulfur dioxide. Then about the PAT scheme, perform, achieve, trade. Do go through it. We did it a few days back in PIB as well. Then about National Water Resource Council. It is chaired by Prime Minister. Finally, about dam safety programs in India. So there is a National Register of Large Dams which is maintained by Central Water Commission. Then we have a dam rehabilitation and improvement program. This program is done in collaboration with World Bank and it is for 7 states of India. Then we have National Committee on Dam Safety. Very important. It is chaired by the Chairman of Central Water Commission. Then finally, these MCQs from today's session. One is related to G20 because joint working group meeting is going on. Then about Titan, this was also in news. Then about shigellosis, this is also in news. And finally about Rossby waves. So do check out all these MCQs and its answers in the MCQ course separately. Do rate and review the course. Also, any sort of feedback, please put that in the comment section. Plus recommend these lessons to your friends as well. Thank you so much.